Hi folks, and welcome back to Math with Captain Rod. I'm making this video here to provide a couple examples of how to write a parabolic equation in its standard form. So again, standard form, what we mean by that is we want to write it in this form. Y equals a times x minus h, the quantity squared, plus k. Squirrely looking k there, I'm sorry about that, but yes, that's a k. All right, and I'm going to just put two examples in one video here because these are reasonably short. Let's start with this one. So the method that we use is completing the square, and typically what you do is you focus on what's happening here, take the constant, move it over. Now there's no x term here, but if you want you could think of it as like 0x. Let me just put that for a minute. 0 times x, and that doesn't change a darn thing. And the idea behind completing the square is we want to take this and write it as x plus something or minus something, the quantity squared. Now remember that the outer and inner terms have to give you this middle term here, right? So what goes here is always going to be half of this. In this case, that's 0. And then, although I don't really need to do this, but remember that, typically when you complete the square, you have to focus on that last term would be 0 squared. And there is a 0. I'll go ahead and write, plus 0, and then you maintain equality. I guess I'll go through the motions here and put a plus 0 there. So, negative 4 plus 0 is in fact just negative 4. So we've got this parabola now in standard form, right? Y equals x. I'll go ahead and put plus 0. We technically don't need it. But just to make this look like this, the a would be positive 1, the h is 0, and the k is negative 4. Since the a is positive 1, we would know this parabola opens up, and its vertex is at the point 0, negative 4. All right, so that was kind of an uneventful example, but sometimes these that look a little different trick people up a little bit. But just remember that if there's no middle term, just think of it as 0x squared and move on. All right, let's take a look at this example. This one will have a little bit more going on. So in order to complete the square, you want this to be a 1. So the first step here, divide everything by 3. So this is going to read now y over 3 equals x squared minus 10 thirds x plus 2 thirds. Now, this process of completing the square is all about what's happening here. Usually what you do is you make yourself a little room here. I'm going to take this and just move it over. All right. Next line, y over 3 equals, and again the idea is we want to write this as x minus something squared. Now, the something, you look right here. This something is always half of this value. Half of 10 thirds is 10 over 6. Now remember that when you FOIL this, the very last product is going to be 10 over 6 times 10 over 6. That's 100 over 36. And we don't have a 100 over 36, so what we do is we just supply it, right? Plus 100 over 36. But doing that here, we've kind of tilted things to the right, so to speak, to maintain equality somewhere else. I need a little more room here. Let's kind of move this back over, okay. Maybe over here we write minus 100 over 36. The other thing we can do is put a plus 100 over 36 on the other side. So this is now exactly equal to this, and then this needs to be simplified here. When we simplify this, we need a common denominator, which would be, we'll use 36 here, and that has to be multiplied by 12. So this top is now 24 over 36, right? Minus 100 over 36. We'll deal with that in a minute. All right, so we've now we're almost home free here. Let me write another line. Y over 3 equals x minus 10 over 6 squared plus. Okay, so now 24 over 36 minus 100 over 36. What is that? Minus 76 over 36. Is that correct? 24 minus 100. Yeah, I think that's right. Oops. 36, not 32. Now, you might be wondering, well, what about these fractions that are not in lowest form? So what? They're just fine the way they are. We can write them. We can simplify things later. Right now, we're good. Everything is pretty kosher. Let's put this 3 back where it belongs. So we'll multiply everything by 3. Now, here, if we want to write this 10 over 6, it's fine. Or we can simplify it. Let's see, that would be 5/3. Now, when we multiply this by 3, 3 over 36, that's 1 over 12. So how about we write minus 76 over 12? And let's probably do one more simplification here. All right, x minus 5/3 squared. This is going to be minus. Now, these are both divisible by 2. What is that? I think that's 38 over 6. Okay, I guess they're divisible by 4. Let's see. It's going to be a 3 and 76 over 4. Got to think about that for a minute here. So 13. All right. No, wait a minute. 66, 20. Oh, I don't feel like doing math this morning. 19. Okay, yeah, that's what I was thinking there. Okay, sorry about that. A little bit of a brain fart there on fractions or divisions. So here is our parabola here in standard form. The vertex is at the point 3 and negative 19/3. So again, the point of this video was how to take a parabola, write it in its standard form. I hope that this has demonstrated that for you, and have a great day.